Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Dan Arena. And over here we got your host,
Matthew James.
All right. So welcome, everybody. This is going to be a fun night. We are talking about Young Guns. Who has seen this movie? Good movie. Decent movie, I'd have to say myself. Oops, I can see everything. Beautiful. So welcome, by the way. This is this is Young Guns. We're going to be talking about Young Guns. This movie was definitely an unique style made.
Yeah.
How's that? It's a unique.
The I word cringes me.
Yeah. So my new word for interesting will be unique.
Yes.
So Young Guns obviously has a all-star cast, right?
Yep.
Reap a whirlwind, yes. Has an all-star cast. It's got Emilio Estevez, which honestly I don't know whatever happened to him. He was kind of big in the 80s and the 90s. And then like late 90s, 2000s, he kind of disappears from the big screen. But his brother Charlie Sheen is also in this movie, and his brother kind of got big in the early 2000s, all the way up until that one TV show got canceled or whatever it was.
2.5 Men.
Yeah, 2.5 Men. That one. The Mighty Ducks happened. Joker Voice says the Mighty Ducks happened. That's how and that's must be why he stopped doing his thing. So also it's got Kiefer Sutherland. He's still pretty popular now, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
I hear
his seen anything with him in a while. I mean, he was in the show 24
right.
for a very long time, from 2001 to 2010.
Yeah. And this is like young Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, he looks babyface young. I think they all look babyface young, but that's what happens. You got Lou Diamond Phillips, and then Casey, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce that name. And then
Samiesco.
Yeah, something like that. And then Dermot Merlini, whatever. Dirty Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, Kaylee. And so that's it. I mean.
Terrence Stamp.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy in the beginning. There's also Terry O'Quinn. He was in the show Lost. That was his big known thing for fame. So I was surprised to see him in there. I was like, oh, he looks familiar. Oh yeah, he was in Lost. that was actually a great show.
I mean, there's a lot of great actors in this movie. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess even Viggo Mortensen is in this movie. Must be a smaller role, but he's in it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a good movie, everybody, but definitely not going to be probably a 10 out of 10. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start in on plot, and we'll go every other. Matthew, you want to start first with plot, and then I'll go, and then you go, then I go. So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, a young gunman comes into in town, and find out that he's Billy the Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because they eventually all become deputies because of the murder of their rancher, their leader at the time. They were learning from him how to read correctly and all that.
Yeah, almost like someone who adopts kids, or
Yeah, he was like their mentor.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
And then, which is how he passes away, which is I'm just like, oh, okay, they needed to add the plot point there because they leave, and then all of a sudden he's just watching them, and then a lot of horses come up behind him. You don't hear the horses?
Yeah,
like,
that was strange.
That was very odd. I was like, okay. Do the horses have like a silencer on all their feet? Like, what happened there? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true.
But eventually, Billy takes kind of the reins of everything. Takes his authority a little too far, though. And then eventually they become the ones that are hunted because they just kind of did a rampage after being deputized. They went a little too far. Yeah. So plot was okay. I didn't really think it was like a huge thing. Like a great plot. The pacing of the film went like way too fast to get.
Yeah, I think this movie could be revisited and refilmed. Like redone. Like someone remake this movie and make it really a good movie.
Some parts felt really rushed. So
right.
I was like, okay, yes, you want to move the story along. Okay, that part got rushed. All right.
Yeah.
So, plot point. I'm gonna say 0.
Yeah, 0. Huh?
Yeah, I didn't really care that much for the plot at all.
No, I think they should have showed more of the like the mentor guy and the kids. They should have showed more of that type of story leading up toward his death, but like showed like more of it, like him, helping the kids, and it make it look like you care about this guy,
Yeah, like saturate it more with the relationship with this mentor with these kids. Like, just let it linger a little bit more that you're invested into these characters and you care for these characters. They kind of just rushed everything. They had that party in the beginning, which was okay, but it still felt a little rushed. You didn't really get to know like all the characters really well.
Right, and then they had that one scene where they're sitting down. One guy's trying to read, and then handed it off to Billy the kid, and then he read it, and everybody
read perfectly.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Wow,
okay, yeah, he can read."
Yeah, but I think they should have showed more of that type of relationship, and made those parts last longer than the parts after. I think.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
So then you would have a feeling of, oh man, these kids must be really hurt, and that's why they're going out killing other people.
Right.
Instead of just kind of like, oh yeah, they were there for a couple minutes, then he dies, and then all of a sudden now they're off killing people because they feel like it.
Of course, once again, it's about land and politics. Oh, I want to do something like this. Oh, this guy owns this part of land. He won't move though, so he can further advance what they want to do. It's like, oh, you can't just kill someone just because you want to do something else. That's not how the world works.
Yeah,
that's kind of evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Very evil.
Exactly. All right, so well, I was watching it.
It's an 80s movie.
Yeah, it is an 80s movie.
It is an 80s movie.
And you could tell it was filmed like a regular 80s movie.
Yes.
Like what are those movies with Mel Gibson back in the 80s there? 90s?
Which? Mel Gibson?
Yeah, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. I forgot the name of the movie, those movies. Anyways, those movies. You know what I mean.
Maybe someone will mention in the comments.
Maybe that would be nice. Somebody look it up,
Yeah, so it was okay. Establishing the characters were meh.
Right.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon. That's the name. Gotcha. Lethal Weapon movies.
Yeah. It's like a signature from that day. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely had that type of feel. So yeah, you know what? I'll give the plot if they would have written this a little bit better, the plot would have been better. But they didn't really. I don't know. I'd have to give the plot probably a half a point, I think.
And it's a westerns, and it's a very,
Yeah.
very short western. I'm used to westerns being at least 2 hours plus. This is about an hour and 45 minutes tops. So
Right.
you definitely feel that it was a little rushed for a western.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I think they added all those characters just because they were so big in the '80s and they're eye candy for people to come out to see that
Right.
film. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Well, I think at the time that some of these actors were not really that big. I mean, it's a all-star crew for being not big actors until I think after this movie.
Hmm.
Was
it Charlie Sheen did? We reviewed Red Dawn from was that '84. So I mean, he's already pretty up and big coming. So I mean, that was a face to be in there.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So the next is going to be acting. Love me some Young Guns. Ord's board.
What do you give the first one?
Oh, I gave it a half a point because I did like it, but at the same time, it just wasn't long enough. It didn't capture my
full attention.
Like my when you relate to something, oh, I relate to this type of relationship. Now I understand why they do what they do afterwards,
Right.
That type of thing. So yeah, I gave it a half a point. So acting, like I said before, all-star cast: Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, John Fisco, which was the guy that was there. Dirk Molyneux. What's up, JT? Says hello, everybody. So, that looks like the Undertaker. Undertaker, huh? I guess I don't know what you mean by that. Oh,
I called him Kiefer Sutherland before we started.
Right, yeah.
From the movie, if you watch it, you're like, oh, there's Dan.
Yeah. I guess I have a Kiefer Sutherland look right now. I guess I could see. I think he's talking about the Undertaker from wrestling, right?
So, WWF.
Yeah,
back in the day when it was WWF.
Now, see, I didn't know there was a Young Guns 2 until I searched it up on Google. So I was like, I didn't know. Woke Breaker, what's up? So, I think the acting was good. I think Emilio Estevez did a great job. I think they all did a great job. I just think under Kiefer. Yeah. I just think that it was more the story, the written script that wasn't that great. Because I think Billy the Kid should have been more emotional because he was always talking about, this person killing that person. And he should have been more emotional when he was killing people instead of like laughing all the time. Like, I'm having fun here. This is a game. Boom, 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 killing everybody, So, I mean, I don't know. Would I give? I guess I could give the acting a point because they're acting for the script that was given to them, and the director told them how to do it, and it wasn't bad. It was just, I think it was more the writing that I had issues with. So I'll give it a point, anyways. What'd you think?
Yeah, the only one I kind of really like that stands out is Emilio Estevez. I mean, his performance, I think, outdid everybody else just because he took over as kind of the top commander because he's killed before, and these other guys you don't get the inclination that they've killed before. But they were considered 20, 21, 22 as kids.
Yeah.
Most portraying.
Yeah, like young adults.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't think it was that top notch at all. But like I said, just Emilio. I'll give it a half a point because of Emilio. Other than that, I wasn't impressed really at all by
Right.
the acting in
I
this.
think
The
Sheen did
whole
a
point
good
with
job.
Emilio, that one scene where he's talking to another guy at the bar, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill Billy the Kid when I see him," and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And he's like, "Oh, man," that whole scene was really interesting, I thought. And then he took the the bullets out, and then kills him, and then they leave. And I'm just like, wow, he's just playing with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. What I thought was interesting was, wouldn't a learned gunman with a 6-shooter notice the weight difference when you take the bullets out of the gun?
So he wasn't very good.
He must not have been very good.
Well, he was just trying to get the girl anyway. So
That's true. I think he was drunk, right?
right. Plus, they had a newspaper clipping of Billy the Kid, but it was somebody else's picture of, what was it, Charlie Sheen's character?
Yeah, Charlie Sheen.
So
yeah.
they probably it's the wrong wrong picture.
Yeah,
with
and,
the correct name.
and I guess
so
on the and on the
misdirection.
Right.
All right.
And they also said that he was left-handed, but he wasn't.
Right.
So I guess that helped. Well, I did like that part where he's looking in the mirror. He goes, "Oh, look, there he is. I see him."
Right. That was cool.
Like, where?
Wow.
Oh, and then he turns back and he looks. Oh, there he is again. He's like, he's like. So that part was good. That part was fun.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Yeah, that was. So this had good parts to it, and also had some bad parts. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but definitely enjoyable, I guess you could say.
And then Lou Diamond taking up, feces, and then they become high for about 10, 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their voices get low.
Yeah, all the voices are low and slow, and they're like going, "Whoa." That's true. Yep, that was fun too.
So yeah, half a point, just because of Emilio.
Right.
Well, plus two, what I know of Emilio, what I've seen him in before, this is like something completely different. I was like, wow, he's pretty sadistic in this as this character.
Yeah.
Because then he's Mighty Ducks. I'm like, it's like a very huge difference in character.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, JT did say Matthew looks like Charlie Chaplin.
See, I knew it. I called it before we went on.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I called it.
That's
yes.
All right, so I guess next will be cinematography. You go first there, Matthew.
For the time, shot on film, so this is still before digital. I thought photography was fine. I would probably this is probably where I'll give the point to this.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was fine. The graininess of it was great to see, as a film should be. So yeah, I give it a point. I mean, not really a problem there.
Right.
So yeah.
All right, so I guess for me, this is where I had my issues. Cinematography was very, I guess under par is what I don't know what the director and the director of photography were looking for, but like the slow motion didn't do it for me. I didn't like the style and how they did that at the end. I didn't like the style of it in the beginning shots either, where the very 80s, definitely very 80s, where he's like picking up their heads and then they show their names, who's playing what part. That was definitely a very 80s moment, which kind of took me out of the Western feel to the movie,
sure,
and I was like, that's definitely not a Western feel, I guess I guess they were trying something different, with the Western and the way they used to make movies back in the 80s, but at the same time, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. Yes, the lighting was fine and everything, but it wasn't like, and there were probably some nice shots, like we talked about the high, the part where they're high. That was good. That was okay. Those shots were fine.
They didn't really move the camera around a lot.
No, they didn't. Not too much.
It was very stationary.
Yeah. And then there was, and there's some scenes that were really good, and then there's just some scenes that just didn't do it for me. So even though I like this movie, I don't know if I'll give the cinematography a point.
Wow. Well, it's for the lighting, though, how they operated the lighting through most of the film. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
the effects weren't good at all. The effects were not good.
Yeah.
Overall, the lighting was fine. That's what I.
Right. Yeah, the lighting was fine. But you got to look at everything too, like how the pictures look far away. The creativeness for it, I don't think was really there. I think they tried some things and it just really didn't work. So I guess for trying, I'll give it a half a point. So the infamous half point that not everybody likes to give, but for some reason it's going to be a lot in this episode. So I guess let's take a break. And we've already said hello to a few people. Joker Voice was on here. Uncle Mike is here. Hello, Uncle Mike. Kaylee D was here. I don't know if everybody's still here or not. I know people popped in and some left.
Sure.
JT Gunn was here or is here. Ord's Board's here. The Woke Breaker says, "Hail chat. What's up, Woke Breaker? How are you?" Dale Cruz just joined us. Hello, Dale. How are you?
Hello.
Wing hugs to you, in remembrance of your brother. Anonymous is here. Where's the furniture, peeps? We have no furniture today. Hopefully, we don't. And then
furniture was in the movie.
Yeah, that's true. And then my mom's here. What's up, Mom? How are you? So there we have it. That's everybody who's here. And don't forget everything that we do here on Inside the Booth.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful, everybody. Don't forget to get yourself a mug, a shirt, a pillow, some tapestries if you are interested in tapestries. We have a lot of merchandise that you guys can get. Instead of going to Walmart or to Target, buying a $20 shirt, go over to one of our shop pages, which we have Teespring and TeePublic in the description below, and also go to InsideTheBoothTV.com/shop, where all the shop pages are listed, and you can buy something from us instead. You'll be sporting our merch, plus helping the channel out. Plus, then you can still get dressed.
And remember to hit the bell button.
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
That's it. Don't forget to ding that bell button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and if you are an ongoing watcher, don't forget to share and tell people about us, and hit the like button. Forgot the like button. So thanks for being here, everybody. All right, so back to the movie, everyone. Young Guns. Don't forget, Young Guns. This is a classic, and a lot of people like this movie, and I do see why. But at the same time, when you are critiquing something, sometimes, you know,
You're critiquing something, you know. That was awesome. I gotta take that later on. Put that as a short. I like that. That was good.
Nice. Weirdest thing is quite like is I quite like this film. Yes, yes. A lot of people do like this film, and it's fine. You can like this movie. I didn't say you couldn't. That's why I have it on a DVD. There's something there's something about having a physical thing in your hand than
Yes.
than going out and just going, oh well, I got it in the cloud. I got that movie on my whatever streaming service I use. Something about having it on hand.
I was in Nashville last year, and we went to a video store, and the video store felt like you were like aged. I'm like, oh, so this is where we are in history. It's like, oh, we're not here anymore. It felt so weird. Kind of like, CDs. You went to Best Buy for all your CDs or whatever a long time ago. You go there now, you're like, where? They have the ones that are just coming out, but they used to have a huge selection. So it just felt like, oh, I'm part of that era now.
Yeah, that's it.
The aging era of DVDs or Blu-ray.
Right.
I'm like, oh man, that was my time.
Yeah.
We were the DVD and CD generation, Dan.
Yeah.
And now,
and you got Blu-rays now, and it's true though. It's true. Everybody's doing digital stuff nowadays.
I own. I don't own like all the movies I used to own. I must have had like 300-400 worth of DVDs a long time ago. I'm probably down to like 50 or 40 of like my favorite ones, and that's it. Everything else is like, oh, okay. For me to go out and buy one, it has to be like a one that I'll watch over and over and over.
Right, a special movie. Yeah,
it's one of those things now.
Yeah, I have collected a lot. I've bought a lot. I have had people give me movies. I've had people, I
gave you movies.
Yeah, you gave me movies. That's it. I've also had people give me movies like, close to me where they're like, I don't watch movies anymore. Would you like these ones? Usually I take everything, but like you said, if there's something that I don't really watch or haven't watched in a really long time, I won't take it. Or if I do take it, I'll just leave it on the shelf and never watch it. But
there's a used bookstore in Middletown, and you can get a DVD like for 50 cents. So if you see one, you're like, oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. People, I know, like flea markets, they try to sell them for $2 or something, and you're like, yeah, $2 is a little, pricey these days.
That sucks.
For a movie
That's crazy to think about because so many hours was put into making that film or whatnot, and now it's next to nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Well, like when I get Orson Welles films for like $5 now.
Right.
It's like, wow. That's like Citizen Kane is considered one of the best films of all time, and that you can get that on eBay for like $5.
Right.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah. When I make my movie One World, I hope people will buy it because I would like to at least have people have the physical copy.
Blu-ray. You're on
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna have to try to make it a Blu-ray, right?
If you need help with that, I can do that. Like I can make Blu-rays.
Right. Just the quality won't be that great. Since it was shot on VHS. So funny. Weird, Now
you gotta get $1,000 like redigitize everything to make it look good.
I know. Well, that'd be like a few thousand, I think. I found this quite tongue-in-cheek, which I like. Yes, it was quite tongue-in-cheek type movie.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
All right, so we are on to music. Um, so I'll go first with music. Let's see here. Music was very 80s. They left 80s music in this movie. I don't know why. A part of me would, every time the music would come up, a part of me said to myself, I would love to re-edit this movie, take out the 80s music and just like put in good old-fashioned Western music, or even like music for, like Hans Zimmer music or something, or John Williams type music, something different.
Not with their acting. They
Yeah.
were not. I don't think it could have saved it.
Yeah, I think something would have made it a little bit better than the music. That's for sure that they did choose.
Yeah,
there was a couple of parts that was nice. They had a couple of like Western sounding songs. I liked when hey, let's dance, and then they got the violin and the Irish flute out. That was okay. But for when like the action scenes come or whatever, they have 80s music playing. Who wants to listen to 80s music in an action scene? Definitely not me. So I don't give the music.
Unless it's the movie Tron.
Right, unless it's
both
Tron.
films, the old and the new.
That works for that movie.
That works for that movie.
Because that is an 80s movie.
Yes.
So I do not give the music a point. I am so sorry. Matthew, what did you think about?
Understandable.
What did you think about?
So there was, I think there was an action scene that just happened, and then they switched to a wide shot of them being on the run, and they switched to the 80s soundtrack, and I just started laughing. I'm like, this is so bad. So it was, the musical choices were not at all went well. It did not add, the finesse that it needs to. So I do not give it a point as well. It did not. The music clashed with kind of the time period and all that. It didn't work. I mean, maybe they were trying something different at the time,
right?
But,
and they probably were, trying to make a.
Plus two, it didn't even feel really like adding that. Didn't really feel like a Western at all, and it being kind of a short film too didn't really add to the feeling that it was actually a Western. Like was it Anna Moose just said? It was very tongue in cheek for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, definitely a good way to describe it. That's for sure.
0 for the musical score.
0.
That's.
Hey, look, my mother.
I'm sorry if I'm laughing at a scene when it cuts to like an 80s sound and they're riding on horses. I was laughing. I'm like, okay, this is.
Yeah. No, for sure. But like I've said to everybody before, I do like this movie. It's just when you're critiquing something, there it is.
They had the part with was it Kiefer Sutherland? Was it Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland character with the Chinese woman. I was kind of really interested in that, and they didn't really explore that at all.
Yeah, they should. Yeah,
I was actually kind of really intrigued with what was going to happen there, and nothing really came about from it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I mean, I think that's kind of what happened with a lot of the. Yeah, it could have been more of a side plot or something, but it would have made the movie. I don't know, more.
That whole scene when like he went to her room, and, like when he left the guys for a while, and then like he's like, "Come with me now," and like they're trying to build. You can see they're trying to build tension, and then at the knock at the door or something. And you're like, oh no, kind of like, oh no, Dad's at the door. I need to go leave the window, right?
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, it would have been cool if like she actually left with him and joined up. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. kind of like giving it to the man. You know, like
yeah.
I'm going to risk my life going with you, even if we both die because I left him. Who cares? I don't want to be. I don't want to be, technically his slave anymore. You know, that would have been really cool. But they went like, oh.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, like, oh, something's gonna happen. Nope, not really. Young Guns was basically a cowboy band. Yeah, that's a good explanation.
That's a good one.
Definitely. Howdy.
Cowboy boy band. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
R2, you're late. Yes. What's up, R2? Thanks for showing
it's
up.
like oh right, I want to see the Beatles, but I don't have enough money to go really see the Beatles, so I'll see a knockoff of the Beatles, which a lot of people from that day and age try to sound like the Beatles.
Right,
you were just so disappointed because it wasn't authentically the Beatles.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I just think that the writing and the directing was too focused on Billy the Kid instead of,
Yeah, you definitely felt that. Yeah, his character was more written than the other ones.
Yeah. Now I think I did see that they did make a. It's called The Kid back in 2019. I think it's about Billy the Kid, but I haven't seen it.
They also I saw they had like a TV show kind of based on him too, like on one of the Netflix or whatever streaming services they have. One of them, I don't remember which one. I just glanced at that. I'm like, the lighting looks a lot better in that than this one.
Yeah, right. Nanamu says, I agree, but the fun was built in to get you on board.
Oh, for sure. And
yeah, it was definitely. But there was
and
fun.
The faces of the 80s. Let's bring all these guys together that were kind of big.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. And this was made in 1988 where they started, they were changing the way they were filming. So I don't know why they stuck with the old 80s feel to this movie, but that's okay. Whatever. It's all good. And now I've got a call. Nice. We should watch Young Guns too, JT said.
Is it better? I was looking at the reviews. I'm like, I got 3.5 stars on where I can watch it on, not Netflix. What's the other one? Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It must be better. I should probably watch that one too because I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Young Guns.
I read up on Billy the Kid a little bit. I mean, like, he doesn't live long. He was like 21 years old. He killed like 9 dudes. He definitely doesn't probably live at the end of the second movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna assume that.
Right. Unless they want to make it a happy ending and make it a Hollywood movie, Oh yeah, Billy the Kid. Woo.
Or they could do something totally different where like it looks like, oh, okay, he got away, and then at the very end someone shoots him and then screen credits.
Yeah, the end screen, yeah.
What just happened?
Right. Yeah, so I guess this was based
kind of like Monty Python. Ends.
It just ends, yeah.
Just ends. I was so confused with the first time I saw that movie.
Oh,
I was like, oh, wait, what?
Right. That movie was so funny.
Oh, man.
He tells a story as an old man. Really? Because Billy the Kid didn't live long, so I don't know how he became an old man.
Huh, that's
interesting. So they did really kind of Hollywoodize Billy the Kid. So I guess what's next is Allegory. Go ahead, Matthew. You can go on Allegory first if you would like.
The only thing I could really think of allegorical is keeping with like biblical kind of stuff. I would say, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, in this case being guns. So if you kill someone with the gun, you're eventually going to get killed with the gun later on. So that's kind of what I got out of it. Like violence begets violence. Yeah. And eventually it's going to catch up to you. So I mean, that's very biblical. in the Old and New Testaments talking about that.
Right.
So that's kind of what I got out of the allegory there.
Gotcha.
But was it really good? I'll give it a half a point just because I thought of that allegorical idea.
But it doesn't mean
it does not get a full point.
Right. So JT said there's a myth that he lived old. Interesting. Anonymous says Red Dwarf, Monty Python. Yes. Red Dwarf.
Right.
And then R2 says Tom Cruise has a cameo as a cowboy in the film. Yeah, and does he?
I did not see him.
I didn't see his listing. I don't doubt it. He probably does.
Yeah.
Like Viggo Mortensen, I didn't see him in it, but he had a cameo too, you know. But of course, I didn't watch all the credits either. While the credits were rolling, I was like, okay, I'm done with the movie, turning it off. You know. Right. So my allegory has to pertain to the beginning of the film, not the end. And it was about, it was more about the story, which I'm kind of stretching this. I really am. It's more about the story of the man who brought in the kids, the orphans, as you could probably call them, or whatever, the runaways. Mine is more on that section to where, it's like God and us, when we are runaways or we're orphans, we don't have a father, God is there. He'll adopt us, he'll take us in. Unfortunately, this man dies toward the beginning of the movie. So that
very strangely, just there he goes.
Yeah, exactly. No fight, no nothing happened. He just kind of stood there and got shot.
They snuck up on him,
and they killed the horse too. You saw that, right? They killed the horse too.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Almost like mafia style, like Al Capone style, shooting up another car, just shooting everything. That's what it looked like. But was there an allegory toward the end of the movie? I don't believe so. What you said, you live by the sword, die by the sword. You reap what you sow.
The whole, pretty much the entire film is now.
Yeah.
The feeling of that.
Yeah.
Because even the guy, the evil banker guy or whatever. I mean.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Right. And Billy the Kid's all shut up, and he still kills the guy and rides away. So that was definitely interesting to see.
It was the shortest ending of a Western I think I've ever seen. It just kind of just ends. Right. There's a voiceover for like a minute and then it ends.
Yeah, exactly. Anonymous says, question. How many lemons does it take to make a battery? I really don't know. 2, 3, 1. I don't know. Why are we asking that question? Are you saying this movie?
They were all bad.
They're all bad.
Just very sour.
Or are you saying like battery, like a criminal charge? No, so it's really, I really don't want to give allegory a point, but because I did think about, like in the beginning of the movie, how it could have gotten a nice allegory, I'll give it a half a point like you did. Nice. All right. So that is that. Matthew gave the whole movie in all our categories. You gave it 2 points altogether.
Nice.
I gave it 2.5 points. So this movie altogether got 4.5 points.
And David and Tabitha both give it a 0.
We don't know.
4
really.
out of 20.
Yeah.
That's how I'm rating this one.
This movie is not a bad movie. It's nice. It's fun to watch. It does have its elements where it's funny and it's witty, but then and then the writing gets sloppy. So I'd say
you could say the main character is the gunfights, because there's like 3 or 4 where it's just like for a good 2-3 minutes, and I'm like, okay,
right, right.
They got a lot of bullets.
Yeah, definitely is a lot of bullets. I mean, I would recommend to watch this movie. It is a fun movie. What would you do, Matthew? Would you recommend this movie to anybody?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, I think it's one of those films where like you can leave on the background and still get what's going on.
Right.
Do your laundry or do something else during the day.
So this is one of those movies that if you didn't watch it, it's not going to
not missing
disturb your life at all. But if you do watch it, it's okay. It's a little fun. I know I like this movie. That's why I have bought it. That's why I got it in my hands. But you're right. For critiquing wise and everything, it's not the greatest movie. It's not a perfect movie. I think it would be awesome if somebody could, remake this movie. Not into a woke thing. We don't need, how many. There were 6 guys in there.
What team of people, though, would you choose now? Everybody's kind of individualized themselves nowadays. They don't really come together as one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it'd be very hard trying to find a group of guys to actually all work together, kind of who are in the industry, because it's all about me, myself, and I. Like in cinema now.
Well, I think
they're not really coming together as much.
Right. I think Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt are a few guys that would probably be good to come together in a movie.
But like 5 or 6 people, you know what I'm saying? Like 3 or 4 maybe max, but like 5, 6, or 7,
Right.
I think that would be very, very hard in today's world to try to do.
I mean, they did
have everybody working together and having a good time.
Right. Well, they did.
I mean, they did it in Tombstone. Tombstone was great.
Tombstone was good too. Yeah. But you got to also remember the Marvel movies. There's a bunch of people together. But I don't think a lot of those Marvel actors.
Those are fantasy. Those I don't really consider them
those are different. Yeah.
Up to par with like awesome cinema.
Yeah. JT says he likes it. Yeah. I mean, I liked it too. But he says they would have to be young. Yes, they would have to be young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would get, if to make it work, I would get like people, no-name actors and actresses, right?
Right.
Just start fresh, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. Just see where it happens. That's
right.
That's the creative spirit, right?
I
don't know what it is. Let's just put it out there, Let's see what happens. Let's see, let's do that. That's the creative spirit there.
Right. And that would probably be the best idea.
Yeah.
And then they would. The only thing is they would have to rewrite it. I mean, there were some scenes that were good, but then, you got to make it believable. You got to make it, these young 6 kids who's basically adopted by this guy. You need to show that a little bit more so that you have a foundation of, what's really happening.
The story of the Indian guy, that piqued my attention. His story was fascinating, but they didn't flesh it out well enough.
No,
It'd been cool. It would have been cool, like they're all sitting around a campfire, and he's telling the whole story of like what happened to his parents and his tribe and everything, and like I can see like people crying at those moments,
right?
But they didn't really. They just added like he was angry. Okay, so I was angry, and you see like when he came to be mentored by his mentor, like a lot of the anger kind of subsided a little bit because he took him in. And
right.
You kind of see a little bit of the love of a father there with the Indian character. But they didn't really do anything with it. Was kind of like you have all the puzzle pieces, but all the puzzle pieces are still on the board, not together.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the whole picture yet. So they didn't finish the puzzle.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Sure. Anonymous makes a good point. it was funny. Um, as Fox leather. Um, it was not made to be serious. You know, yes, I think part of it was supposed to be serious, though. Honestly, just my opinion. Um, but you're right.
Most westerns though are not on par of being funny unless
Right,
it's so over the top. Um,
right.
you
Like
know that yeah,
Anonymous. What is that movie?
the something six.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the guy, the creator of the Family Guy. If something's so
Infamous
over the top,
Six.
right?
With Adam Sandler.
When it's
That
done on purpose, yeah, sure.
Yeah, when it's done like as more over the top, then yeah, then you could say it's funny. This movie it did have funny parts, but I don't think it was supposed to be too hilarious, like too funny.
Right.
But of course, yeah, everybody's opinions are different.
I mean, I would say that Blazing Saddles was better than this movie. Blazing Saddles was so well structured.
Right,
and that's considered a western, and it's so over the top because it's Mel Brooks. I mean, I consider that movie 20 times better than this movie.
Right.
as a western.
Right.
That's saying something.
But I mean, this is a good movie. Just needs to be worked out a little bit more.
Yeah.
They just needed to work it out a little bit more. But that's it. So those are my opinions. Those are Matthew's opinions here on Inside the Booth, and that's what you're going to get from us always is opinions. They could be facts. You don't know. Unless you watch the movie for yourself. So yeah, that's it. Young Guns. That's it. So that's it. Yeah, that's it, guys. This was kind of a short show, wasn't it?
That's it.
I guess we can hang out for a couple minutes and talk because we didn't hit the hour mark yet. But yeah, it was a funny movie and non-funny at the same time. Young Guns 2, let's see what their cast is since we're just kind of hanging for a second. Blazing Saddles is a different perspective. Yes, is in a different perspective. You're right. It is. Still a good movie, though. Young Guns 2 still has... Well, they still have most of the characters except for Charlie Sheen. They got John Fusco as the mentor person again in Young Guns 2. He must be like flashbacks or something. It's got to be. I haven't seen this Young Guns 2 though.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Don't take my word for anything. But obviously Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Kiefer Sutherland. I think those were the three guys that stayed alive in the end of Young Guns, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they rode off on their own, and then you had a little voiceover saying what happened to them. So, yeah, that's it. Young Guns, that's what you get. This is what you get for Young Guns, everybody.
That's it.
That's it. It's done. It's over. Thanks, everybody, for being here, for hanging out with us, for being truly supporters of Inside the Booth. We love you all. Don't forget, go ahead and go buy yourself some merchandise on InsideTheBoothTV.com/shop. We got some great stuff. Tabitha has great stuff on her Etsy store too, and we got that link right there in the shop page. Yeah. So here you go, everybody. One more time. We love this commercial.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Love Blazing Saddles. Should be more like that. Yeah, Blazing Saddles was good, everybody. And then don't forget to check out our Patreon page. If you do like what we do here, everybody, go check out our Patreon page. You can support us for only just $1 a month. That helps out a lot of stuff. We send gifts out to people from time to time. We do giveaways, and that helps pay for the giveaways. What else does it do? Eventually, it'll help pay for StreamYard to be paid for, so that we can have more than 6 people on, and we can go longer periods of time and have more shows, because soon we're going to start doing more shows. I think probably on Thursdays, but not sure if we'll do them live, only because of the StreamYard. You can only go so many hours. I think it's 20 hours a month.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can't go over too much, So that's another reason why you can become a Patreon member for Inside the Booth. We also have a $5 and $10 tier, and also a $1,000 tier where I, Dan the Law Arena, will come to your house and do your laundry once. Unless you do the $10,000 or $1,000.
$10,000. Yes.
Yeah, 10,000.
Yes. You'll make our day.
$10,000 will have me coming over once a month.
That's right.
To do your laundry, to hang out with you, to be your friend. You can pay me to be your friend. No, I'll be your friend anyways. Don't worry about that.
Well, he'll be your best friend for $10,000.
That's
BFF.
Right. But yeah, we are looking to try to expand, everybody. So consider supporting us on Patreon. Consider buying some merchandise. Not only will it clothe you or give you a pillow to rest your head on, it will also give us a few bucks. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for Matthew for being here. Everybody else bailed on me at the last minute because, Tabitha had to travel. Her brother had to do some things that he forgot he had to do. And, well, we all know the ghost can only pop in whenever he can. So, thanks. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Have a great night. Sleep well. And God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice day.
Yes, goodbye, everybody.
Are you not entertained?